Hi guys, welcome back to the Science Factory. I'm your host, Mr. Brian, and today we're going to be showing you how to play a really fun game called Chief. Now, one of the reasons I love Chief is it's very versatile. It's a great icebreaker for new groups that are just meeting each other, and it can also be played to fill in a gap if you have 5 minutes. But it can be played for longer as well. This is a great game to know if you're a parent or a teacher because you'll often need to fill in gaps at birthday parties or during class when something's not going right or when you just have a couple extra minutes. Kids can get pretty crazy if you give them a couple of minutes with no direction. So, without further ado, let's get started. So for this game, you're going to want to pick somebody who's the leader, who's going to pick the roles of people in the game. Usually the teacher does this at our summer camp, but if you're doing a kid's birthday party, or if you're just playing this with a group of friends, just designate someone to be the leader to make those quick choices. So the first thing you need to do is pick one player to be the visitor, and you're going to take the visitor and kick them out of the room. Make sure that they actually go around a corner or something similar so that they can't peek. Next, whoever's leading the game is going to pick someone to be the chief. While the visitor is away, gather everybody else up in a circle and point to whoever the chief is going to be. Remember, you don't want to say it out loud because if you say it out loud, the visitor might hear you. So all you need to do is point and look around and make sure everybody in the group saw who you were pointing to. Maybe even have them raise their hand so that there's no confusion over who is being pointed to. Once you've picked the chief is going to start doing a repetitive motion. It needs to be something that repeats so that everybody else can follow along easily. Clapping is great. Snapping is another good one. Silly motions or dances are really good, but you don't want to do something like jumping jacks that's going to make people really tired really quickly. So try to pick something that's a quick, easy, repetitive motion that you could do for a while comfortably. It's everybody else's job to follow along with the chief as quickly as they can. So go ahead and start doing whatever motion it is that the chief is doing, and once everybody's doing it, invite the visitor back in. When the visitor enters the room again, they're going to walk to the center of the circle so that they can't see everybody at once. And they're going to try to figure out who the chief is by looking around the circle and trying to catch them in the act, or trying to catch one of the other people in the group looking directly at the chief. Now at any time, the chief can change to a new motion, and it's everybody else's job to follow along in those changes. The goal of the visitor is to guess who the chief is, and they only get 3 guesses. So your job as the chief, or as one of the players that is not the visitor, is to try to do your best to all move at the same time. Every time that the motion changes, you want to change as quickly as possible, and you don't want to look directly at the chief. Because if everybody's just staring at the chief, it's going to be pretty obvious who the chief is. If the visitor is able to guess who the chief is, they won. If they don't guess who the chief is, then the rest of the team wins. Well, I hope you like the game Chief. If you want to see more games like this, you can click our games playlist up here. We'd also love to know what your favorite videos are so far, as well as topic suggestions for future videos. So please let us know what you would like to see in the comments down below, and we will see you next time. Where do crayons like to go on vacation? Colorado. How many tourists does it take to change a light bulb? 7. 1 to hold the bulb, and 6 to ask for directions.